Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned, penned by American author Walter Mosley in 1997, is a gripping crime novel that weaves together 14 distinct chapters, each with its own self-contained plot. Together, these chapters form a larger narrative centered around Socrates Fortlow, an ex-convict grappling with the complexities of leading a morally upright existence in the urban landscape of Los Angeles. Set in the low-income neighborhood of Watts during the years 1995 and 1996, the novel delves into Fortlow's journey as he navigates the challenges of redemption and self-discovery. At 58 years old, Fortlow has spent a significant portion of his life behind bars, serving time in an Indiana prison for a double homicide. Now, in his 8th year of freedom, he carries the weight of guilt, remorse, and a deep sense of loss for the life he might have lived. Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned seeks to humanize the experiences of ex-convicts, highlighting Fortlow's unwavering resilience and optimistic outlook as he endeavors to find purpose in the remnants of his existence. Fortlow's life in Los Angeles begins immediately after his release from prison. He deliberately chooses the city due to his lack of familiarity with it and the absence of any connections there. He hopes to forge a fresh start, recognizing that his propensity for violence could still sabotage his efforts at reform. In the initial chapters, Fortlow scrapes by collecting discarded recyclables from the streets and exchanging them for money. Eventually, he secures employment at a grocery store. However, he soon discovers that his greatest challenge lies not in his own temperament, but in the overwhelming guilt and anger he carries within himself. This guilt amplifies his insecurities and renders him susceptible to the injustices of racism and poverty, leading him to justify his marginalized position in society. Each chapter pivots around a central conflict, and Fortlow must summon his unwavering commitment to a strict moral code in order to overcome these challenges. Along the way, he encounters trials unlike any he faced during his time in prison or in his youth prior to incarceration. Through his indomitable spirit, Fortlow confronts these obstacles head-on, striving to forge a path of redemption and self-acceptance. Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned explores a wide range of challenges faced by Socrates Fortlow, spanning from defending his community against criminals to peacefully resisting acts of racism. As a black man living in a country with a deeply flawed criminal justice system, Fortlow harbors a profound mistrust for the local police and adeptly evades their antagonism. In certain instances, he even finds himself compelled to break the law rather than succumb to oppressive policing. While Fortlow understands, on an instinctive level, that his decisions are justified and that matters of morality are seldom clear-cut, he cannot shake the belief that he is inherently a bad person. Through the narrative voice and Fortlow's actions, Walter Mosley reveals that, contrary to Fortlow's self-perception, he is a good person. Tragically, the protagonist himself fails to fully grasp this truth. Despite his predominantly solitary nature, Fortlow develops meaningful friendships with several individuals who provide support during challenging times. Among them, Daryl, a young boy on the brink of entering middle school, holds a central role. When Daryl unintentionally takes the life of another boy his age, Fortlow sees parallels between the young boy's struggle and his own past. Determined to spare Daryl from a similar fate, Fortlow becomes a mentor figure to him. Ultimately, he succeeds in guiding Daryl away from trouble. This transformation from murderer to mentor signifies Fortlow's moral growth and grants him a sense of security and self-love that eluded him in his youth and throughout his time in prison. The novel concludes with Fortlow looking ahead to further personal improvement, embracing the notion that one can break free from a life burdened by guilt and sorrow, as suggested by the title Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned. It acknowledges the destructive power of criminality, while also presenting a case for the potential redemption of even the seemingly most irredeemable individuals, demonstrating that growth and learning can arise from one's actions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.